Hi, this is Lauren Moss, Senior Analyst with Nearshore Americas, and I'm here with
Guillermo Gonzalez King from MexicoIT.
Tell me about MexicoIT. What's the purpose of MexicoIT?
MexicoIT is a government program by the Mexican federal government, jointly operated by the IT industry, represented by CANIETI, which is the Mexican IT Chamber, in order to increase awareness in foreign markets of Mexico as a sourcing destination. What we do is basically participate in different events worldwide, mostly the North American events organized by analyst firms, in order to bring a representative sample of Mexican IT companies, their capabilities, and the narrative of what Mexico can offer for U.S. or other national corporations in terms of doing business with our country.
That's interesting because Mexico already has a great reputation as a manufacturing powerhouse. It has a great reputation for consumer goods. But a lot of people don't necessarily think about Mexico when it comes to IT talent. Now, I know that Mexico has some excellent business schools. They have Tech de Monterrey that are turning out, thousands and thousands of students that are qualified in IT. What do you think have been the main obstacles in keeping people from really understanding what kind of talent is actually here and available in Mexico?
I think there's different reasons to that. Mexico, as you mentioned, has a vocation for manufacturing and obviously has a very talented workforce in manufacturing industries as iconic as the automotive industry. Mexico is the fourth largest exporter of automobiles to the world, but we're the third, well, depending on what analyst firm you consult, but there's some analyst firms that say that Mexico's ranked third top IT service exporter. When both messages try to be conveyed, for some reason automotive makes sense, IT does not. I think in a certain way Mexico has not done the best job in promoting the capacities and capabilities of their IT service sector. That has begun to change a bit. But if you take into consideration all that manufacturing knowledge that has been accumulated over the years, IT is a horizontal service sector that basically procures each and every one of the sectors. So there's something competitive going on in the IT sector that allows these other manufacturing sectors to be competitive worldwide. The perception about Mexican talent, it's just not there. It is for engineers working. Let's take again the automotive industry as an example, but it's not necessarily perceived in the same way for the human talent in the IT sector. The only way we can achieve that is through cooperation with U.S. firms and having advocates of the capabilities of the Mexican workforce, especially the decision makers in U.S. corporations that have had an experience doing business in Mexico. Part of the MexicoIT mission is basically to bring that message abroad, and it may be a bit biased when a government-funded program that tries to increase awareness of Mexico as a sourcing destination is judge and jury. It's a bit hard for us to say this is what we got in Mexico and at the same time expect a completely blind level of acknowledgement or trust from U.S. corporations. This is, or any type of customer. This is where the job of advocates or businessmen that have experienced the virtues of doing business in Mexico, have worked hand in hand with human capital, Mexican human capital, can testify on behalf of what's going on in the country.
How important is it to get your message out, to be able to get them down here face to face and to have them on the ground in a place like Mexico City Guadalajara or Monterrey or even some of the other secondary cities to see what the real situation is here? How is that? Can you do it from a distance, or is it really critical to bring those decision makers down here to see what there is to offer?
No, it's definitely a game changer to have them come to the country. Not only decision makers in C-level positions, CIOs, CFOs, also analysts, and also media experts are the type of advocates that we require. It's completely different, in my perception, to experience a country when you've had the chance to walk its streets, talk to its people. And I don't want to come across as, come to our tourist destinations, come to our beaches, our archaeological sites. If you have the opportunity to visit any one of the three cities that you mentioned, Mexico City, Guadalajara, Monterrey, you would have the chance to see a thriving economic ecosystem. You would see business, you would see a young, talented workforce driving the engines of the Mexican economy. Earlier today in one of the panels, someone mentioned as a joke that anyone who has the chance to visit Monterrey will find a much nicer or a more beautiful version of Houston in a certain way. Everybody laughed, but I have to agree with that comment. It's a city that's as industrialized as any large city in the U.S.
It's clear that a lot of very impressive things are going on. So hopefully the message can get out and that the IT sector will continue to grow here in Mexico City. So thank you for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you, Lauren. And just one additional comment. Some of the most innovative design innovation going on in large corporations that have corporate head offices in Mexico is done through their Mexican teams. Companies like Intel, companies like Cisco, companies like General Electric have design centers and research and development centers in Mexico, basically because they made a bet on human capital in this country. And I don't want to speak on their behalf, but anyone having the opportunity to talk to them will probably hear a testament from each one of these companies saying our bet paid off. It was a wise decision to consider Mexico, and some of the most innovative driving projects that eventually will position our companies in the year to come are being designed, built, manufactured, and exported through the world by a platform as complex and as complete as Mexico is.
We don't see companies pulling out. We see companies, when they come here, they inevitably continue to expand. So Guillermo Gonzalez King with MexicoIT, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. I'm Lauren Moss, Senior Analyst with Nearshore Americas.